Heavenly Father, we come to you today with humble hearts, seeking your guidance and wisdom as we begin this program. Lord, we ask that you would bless every person who has gathered here today, and that you would be present with us in a special way. We pray that this program would be a time of learning, growth, and fellowship for all of us. Help us to listen to one another with open hearts and open minds, and to support one another as we strive to serve you in all that we do. Please give us the strength and the courage to follow your will and to use the gifts and talents you have given us to make a positive difference in the world. We pray all of this in your holy name. Amen.
Hello everyone. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. And welcome to the first learning session or yung tinatawag naming pilot episode ng aming webinars under the Management of Scale Up Training and Development. So maraming salamat po sa mga nag-register for this webinar. And I hope na pagkatapos ng ating session, hindi kayo magsisisi na sumali kayo dito sa learning activity na ito. Bago tayo mag-proceed, no, introducing our mentor and resource person for tonight, let me give you a bit of a background muna about Scale Up Training and Development. From the word itself, no, we are all familiar naman, di ba? From the word scale up. So ang isang organization, pwede silang mag-scale up. Ang isang individual, pwede rin silang mag-scale up. Actually, this is also like somehow synonymous, no? Kumbaga parang kino-consider namin na yung scale up na phrase itself is also skill up, no? You are skilling up. So if you are an organization, pag sinabi nating scale up, it means i-grow natin yung capacity ng inyong organization, mas tataasan pa natin yung impact in a sustainable way para mas maging efficient ang inyong organization. So meaning to say, it's about replicating success on a larger level without losing quality or control. Ngayon, kung ikaw naman ay isang individual no, na gustong mag-scale up, it's about leveling up so you can handle as a person, as an individual, greater challenges, and in the future, no, as you scale up, you can create bigger results. So that's why we call our organization as Scale Up. These are our guiding statements. Alam naman nating lahat, no, kasi some of you here are members of a Facebook group, no, or a Facebook community na kung saan ninyo nakita yung post namin, no. And those Facebook groups or communities are all about offering mga webinars with certifications and so on. So that's why in the entire country sa Philippines, marami nang nagpro-provide ng kagaya sa ginagawa namin. So that's why dito sa Scale Up Training and Development, our vision is to be one, no? Hindi naman namin pwedeng sabihin na kami dapat yung pinaka-trusted, no? But at least we are one of the most trusted providers of training and development services in the Philippines. Recognize, no? Kailangan ma-recognize kami in the context of empowering the participants, individual or as an organization, to grow and succeed. Kaya nga yung keywords ng aming vision, trusted, recognize, and empowering. And of course, in order for us na ma-achieve ang vision na yan, eto naman yung aming mga mission statements. And as you can see, meron kaming tatlo, no? The first one is for us, our mission, number one, is to provide relevant and high quality learning solutions, just like what we are doing right now. Second one is to promote lifelong learning and professional growth. So that's why we also have training and development programs. And the third mission na meron kami is to build strong client partnerships and ensure impact. So that's why isa sa mga initial actions na ginawa namin or measures is for us to build relationship with you, no, as our participants. Kaya to the best that we can, ginawa talaga namin sana na excellent, no, yung customer relationship na na-build namin from the moment na nakita niyo yung post namin, nag-register kayo, nag-email kami, up to the point na nandito na tayo ngayon sa learning session. So I hope smooth sailing yung naging transactions or relationship na meron tayo doon. Yung services namin, hindi lang kami nakafocus about providing webinars, kagaya ng ginagawa natin ngayon. And in fact, yung webinars namin, scheduled talaga yan siya every Saturday, no? So ibig sabihin, in a month, meron talaga kaming 4 na pwedeng maikonduct na webinars. Every Saturday, 6 to 8 p.m. yon. Pero maliban sa webinars, we are also offering training programs, mga development programs. We are also offering consultancy services. So that's why nag-gather kami ng mga experts in different fields, coming from different industries. Kasi ang Scale Up Philippines, no, hindi lang kami provider ng webinars. Like if you need a financial consultant, you can also book with us, no? If you need a bookkeeper, you can also book from us. So that's why we are also offering consultancy services. And of course, yung speaking engagements. Ibig sabihin, external. Baka meron dito sa inyo, no, in the future, kailangan ninyo ng financial management na resource speaker. You can also reach out to us so that we can provide that speaking engagement na kailangan ninyo. Nakikita nyo naman dito sa screen ko, no, na meron ditong, kumbaga parang distinction ng training at saka ng development. Kasi nasa pangalan ng business name namin yun, di ba? Scale Up Training and Development. Or palagi nating nababasa yan in the context of human resource, no? Training and development. So ano ba yung pinagkaiba nung dalawa? Pag sinabi nating training, it's more on job focus siya. Pag sinabi naman nating development, career focus. Meaning to say, ang training, yun yung kailangan ninyo ngayon. While ang development naman, yun yung kakailanganin ninyo in the future. So that's why we are offering both programs. Kaya we are encouraging you to follow us on social media para naman at least maging updated kayo sa aming mga activities. So ito na yung ating mga simple house rules, no? Since we are doing this online via Zoom. So ito lang yung iilan sa mga kailangan nating i-observe. The first one is for you to keep your microphone muted. Minsan kasi hindi tayo naging aware na naka-turn on pala yung microphone natin. So madidistract yung ating resource person. Second is to use the chat box responsibly. Later on, sa bago tayong mag-end ng session, meron tayong open forum with our resource speaker. And of course, kung merong itatanong si resource person, you can make use of the chat box para mag-respond sa kanyang mga questions. The third one is to respect the speaker and the participants. So iwasan nating mag-interrupt, no? Especially yung ating speaker. Stay present as much as possible and engage, no, sa ating learning session. 2 oras lang naman yung allocated time natin, di ba? Kaya sana sa 2 oras na yun maging present kayo because later, I am also going to post the attendance sheet para malaman natin kung sino talaga yung nag-attend ng mismong learning session. And you can actually keep your camera on if possible, no? Para mas engaging nga sa ating resource speaker yung kanyang session. Okay? So now let me introduce to you our mentor and resource speaker for tonight. Hindi ko pala na-introduce ang pangalan ko, no? My name pala is Piper, no? And our resource speaker is actually a very good friend, no, na kung saan nagkakilala kami way back 2018 or 17 sa isang um, event sa isang university dito sa Davao City kung saan kami geographically located. And from that day na naging magkaibigan kami, naging partner din kami in providing financial literacy sa mga trainees na meron kami doon sa isang business na minamanage namin. And that is more on about building a digital career. And let me share to all of you na kumpare na rin kami ngayon. It's because I am one of the beautiful ninang of his daughter. Kaya mas na-build pa yung aming closeness. That's why I'm very happy na pumayag din siya na maging mentor natin dito sa Scale Up. So our resource speaker is not just the business development section head and the entire Mindanao of the First Metro Securities Brokerage Corporation, but he is also a personal finance and investment literacy advocate. At ito yung kanyang mga professional certifications. Makikita nyo naman, di ba, sa ating screen kung ano yung kanyang mga professional certifications na kung saan ang ilan dito is isa siyang license na securities representative accredited by the Securities and Exchange Commission, meaning to say he is authorized to trade and guide individuals like you in our country regarding capital markets. He is also a certified trust professional under the Trust Institute Foundation of the Philippines or TIFP. He is also a certified UITF sales personnel from the Trust Officers Association of the Philippines, no? Na kung saan mas na-strengthen niya yung kanyang knowledge in the context of trust operations and unit investment trust funds. Meron siyang dalawang certifications from Bloomberg, no? Alam naman natin or kilala natin si Bloomberg, 'di ba? Ano yan siya, worldwide leader in terms of financial data, financial analytics, and market insights. And with that, no, meron siyang certifications about being a certified financial markets professional and a certified advanced equity analyst. Kaya hindi basta-basta yung ating mentor and resource person this evening. He is also a member of the Financial Education Association since last year up to this year 2025. So that's why para mas makapag-share siya at magamit niya yung kanyang oras to share about the art of money management, please help me welcome our resource speaker for tonight, Sir John Philip Billones. Hi, Sir JP.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, Piper, and to the 49 participants that we have tonight. So thank you so much for that very warm introduction, Piper. And I'm happy, no? At the same time, na-pressure ako kasi it's the pilot session of Scale Up, no? So which I think is a good thing para at least no, this is more into the training and development aspect. And we're happy na kahit on the pilot session, we're close to 50. Ngayon, we just turned 50 participants. So that's a really good number. And we're happy that you're interested on stuff like this. No? Like yung topic na i-discuss ko tonight, which is about financial management. I think this is one of the topics na very important pero hindi masyado napapag-usapan. No? So, lalo na itong aspect na to, 'di ba? Parang lahat naman tayo we have some level of skill to a point na nagkaroon tayo ng trabaho pero based on our skills, no? Yun yung impact niya, no? Magkakaroon tayo ng salary. Pero what you do with that salary or that money medyo kailangan pa natin siguro ng education nun, no? So during my time when I was in college, hindi po kami tinuruan about financial management. Kaya I myself had encountered mga financial challenges as well, no? So without moving too forward no sa discussion ko tonight, ang goal ko lang talaga no, I think this is also aligned with the vision and mission of Scale Up Training and Development, no? Um we want to empower Filipinos through wealth building literacy, no? Literacy. So, the best thing we can do is we can scale you up, no? Tapos hopefully from scaling you up when it comes to wealth building na mga concepts, we get to empower you, no? And hopefully ma-apply nyo po yan siya sa respective na mga lives ninyo. Now, I was already introduced by Piper, but I'll just share something na hindi lang na-include doon sa introduction. I consider myself one of the lucky ones in life kasi pagkapanganak ko pa lang po, meron na agad akong Bilyones. So that's my name. I am John Philip Bilyones. You can call me JP for short. Sa pangalan pa lang po yan, no? Hindi ko alam if that will happen in the future. It's something nice to aspire to, no? Na magkaroon ka ng Bilyones. Pero umabot na rin ako sa point in my life wherein I don't think I need that much in order to be truly happy and rich, no? So, magkakaiba tayo ng definition of wealth, no? So, sa personal perspective ko, it's nice to aim for that. Pero based sa mga calculations ko, hindi ko kailangan ng ganung karaming pera, no? But anyways, that's me, no? And share ko lang din sa inyo na right out of college, I encountered financial difficulties as well, no? Yung tipong I was earning quite good money, no? Kasi syempre out of college, usually entry level yung expectation natin sa salary. And yung first na salary ko is already above average, I would say. Pero for some reason, by doing it 12 months, up to 2 years, wala akong ipon, and worse, I was drowning in debt. No? So parang may disconnect yun. How can someone earning okay or well have no savings and worse, drowning in debt? Okay? So napaisip ako, ano ba yung mga ginagawa ng mga taong may pera na hindi ginagawa ng mga taong baon sa utang? And that question led me to become a personal finance and investment literacy advocate. Kasi sa tingin ko po, yung isi-share ko sa inyo this evening, kailangan pa ng reinforcement. No, yung tipong sabi nga doon sa vision mission ng Scale Up, no? We need to scale up when it comes to financial management as well. I'm not sure if that's something that you're attuned to, but I think the fact lang na nag-attend kayo ng session tonight, I think you're willing to learn more how to better manage your finances. And fortunately enough, yung passion ko, nakahanap din po ako ng trabaho wherein it has become my profession already. No? I currently represent First Metro Securities as the business development section head here in Mindanao. No? And doon kami nagkakilala ni Piper nga based sa kanyang story. No? So imagine something lang na naging co-speaker ko lang siya sa isang event dito sa university sa Davao. But medyo nag-align kami no, when it comes to the problems that we think we can help, no? Lalo na yung sa pagturo about financial management. So, I'm grateful to be part of the mentors ng Scale Up, no? And I'm happy, no, that we have 50 participants this evening, and we hope na in the future sessions, you will still take advantage of scaling up yourself. Okay? Now, the company I represent, First Metro Sec, is part of the Metro Bank Group. So probably you're very familiar with that company, no? Baka may branch nga malapit sa inyo. You're probably account holder ng Metro Bank, and they also have other services like credit cards, loans, no? Pero sa amin, we are in the investment banking side. You probably know our sister company as well, si AXA, which is sa insurance side naman yan siya. Kami naman dito sa First Metro Securities, pure investments po yung sa amin. So we actually provide you a platform wherein you get to invest or trade different investment options. Now, since we're talking about investments, dapat makilala nyo rin po sino yung mga regulators namin. You can check out SEC's website doon sa Electronic Registry of Application for Market Participants. You can check out our company name there. Makikita mo rin yung license ng company namin. And when you click on that, makikita mo rin kung sino yung mga licensed representatives. No? So tulad ng mga certifications na sinabi ni Piper, which is yung relevant sa SEC is the securities representative, you can see my license and name there as well. And I encourage this to you, no? Lalo na in the future, kung meron pong lulapit sa inyo when it comes to investing, you should check with regulators if lisensyado yung taong yun. Okay? That's for you to be safe, no? Para at least alam mo na regulated yung tao na yun. Now, one of our main bread and butter talaga is stock trading or stock investing. So isang regulator namin din is the Philippine Stock Exchange. So you can check out their website. Tingnan niyo po doon sa mga trading participants. And we are part of the online brokers, no? So you can check our company name there as well. Okay? So that's another regulator that you can check out, no? Now, this is what we do, no? Day in and day out, no? We conduct financial literacy sessions. Last year, 614 events yung na-conduct namin as a team, reaching 50,000 individuals, delivering in different modalities, no? Whether it's going to be a webinar, on-site event, TV appearances, podcasts, or hybrid sessions, we're happy that we get to engage with you through these financial literacy sessions. So, nagpapasalamat kami, no? For this opportunity. I've known Piper pa noon when she had Nights of Online Marketer. So, I think in the next slide, share ko yung history namin, no? How long we have been in good collaboration, no? And right now, it's going to be a new venture kasi this is in scale up. And I just want to share with you, no? Na ito, a little bit throwback, no? It's a Saturday, no? But mag-hashtag throwback pa rin tayo. As mentioned ni Piper nga, no, parang we've been doing Finlit sessions since 2018 pa. But I think ever since 2018, it was through the Nights of Online Marketers. But I'm happy that I'll be part of this new chapter again, which is scale up training and development. No, so siguro probably maiiba ko to moving forward kasi this will be the first for scale up. No, but this is where me and Piper met. Noon mga on-site sessions pa up until nagkaroon ng online na mga sessions. So we've been doing this siguro in a year 4 times will be the average siguro that we get to add value, no? Through Piper's na mga effort, no? So thank you so much, no? Now we're on a new chapter with the scale up training and development, and we're happy you'll be the first batch to avail, no, of this financial management session. Now, before I start, no, before I go to my main discussion, I just want to share with you this disclaimer. Lalo na po kasi pag nag-uusap tayo ng personal finance, di pa talaga maiiwasan that I get to share my personal opinions on some matters. So, as part of the disclaimers, no, yung mga statements, comments, views, or opinions expressed by me in this presentation are not necessarily that of First Metro Sec. And we hope, no, like any other thing, no, when you learn something new, parang nagiging sponge tayo, no, yung tipong we absorb what we can, pero syempre, no, we have to make sure that it's also aligned to our personal circumstances, that we apply what is most applicable to us, no, kasi magkakaiba naman din talaga tayo, no. And with that, well, that is covered, let's now get to the actual discussion, which is financial management, no. Now, just a form of engagement with everyone, no? May I ask you, you can type in the chat box, no? How well do you currently spend your salary? Sige nga, can you rate yourself between 1 to 10? No? 1 will be the lowest and 10 will be the highest. Gaano kayo, no? How would you rate yourself when it comes to handling your salaries? Ayan, I'm getting answers. Thank you, Miss Jamaica. 5 yung rating niya sa sarili niya, no? So 5, no? Sabi din ni Vivacious, no? Ganda naman ng pangalan, no? Now we have here Crystal. We now have a higher number 8. Okay? Melinda at 6, Laika at 6, Hill at 5, Crystal 7, Veronica 5, 5, 6, Julius 5, Jamaica 5. All right? So thank you for your participation, no, and I'm happy that you're doing that kasi this is one of the challenges sa mga online session kasi hindi ko kayo nakikita, no. Usually naka-off yung camera, no, so it's I'm doing my best to engage with you, so thank you for your participation. Now when you look at the numbers na sinabi niyo diyan, I would say the average would be between 5 and 6. Pero medyo merong naglagay ng 8, no, which is quite above average already, and that's okay, no, because self-rating naman talaga yon. But one thing that from this question pa lang, this tells you na parang you yourself know that there's still room for improvement. No, you accept, no, by that rating alone, you already accept na parang meron pang room for improvement when it comes to how you manage your current salary. And I hope, no, after this session, hopefully, tataas na yung rating niyo sa sarili ninyo. Okay? So, talking about salaries, no, I'll share to you my personal na story, no? Yung tipong right out of college, I was already working hard for my money. Tapos syempre naman no, nagtatrabaho tayo not for charity but for income, no? And of course, hard-earned money 'yan. Sometimes no, sa trabaho natin nasa stress tayo and all, na paminsan pagdating ng trabaho ng sweldo natin, sinasabi natin sa sarili, deserve ko mag-splurge, no? So sometimes we get into a lifestyle of instant gratification. Yung tipong you spend money kahit hindi mo pa talaga siya kailangan, no? Or mas gusto mo na siyang gastusin ngayon kaysa pag-ipunan for the future. Now sometimes after our lifestyle, una-una pa nga yung lifestyle natin before we think about our bills, no? Before natin naiisip si due date. Yung due date ng kuryente, tubig, sasakyan, bahay at iba pa, no? So this is usually the combo, no? Our responsibilities and our lifestyle. Now, when I was still right out of college, no, first job ko, I was essentially living beyond my income. As in, bakit ko nasabi yan? Kasi in the first place, wala po akong ipon, no? Enough lang yung sweldo ko sa lifestyle and bills ko, no? To a point na normal for me, no? Yung magkaroon ng petsa de peligro. Na-experience niyo na ba yon? Yung tipong 3 to 5 days before your next salary, pero you're down to your last 2,000 or 3,000 pesos. Or paminsan nga, may time nun na last 500 pesos. Pero 'di ba as Filipinos, we are very resilient. For some reason, natatawid natin yun. Na magaling tayo dyan. Pero like life, no, paminsan may mga curveballs yan siya. What if na-experience niyo rin ba yun na during the Petsa de Peligro, meron kayong mga emergencies na nangyari? Now, you're already fully stretched out. Now, what do you do with those emergencies? Sometimes we result into debt, no? Yung mga utang, credit cards or loans ba yan siya? Okay? Now, syempre yung utang, hindi yun libre, no? Sometimes you pay a premium or you pay some interest to it. Now, paano, no? Paano if yung salary me only covers the lifestyle and bills? How do you pay yung mga for your utang? And ito yung sinasabi ko na naging buhay ko, no? Right out of college. Na imagine, no? Fresh out of college tapos na-realize ko to after a couple of years na parang this is not a sustainable way for me to achieve my financial goals. Yung tipong I work hard, I earn income, tapos ginagastos ko, wala akong ipon, tapos nagkakautang pa from time to time. I don't want this cycle to be my life cycle, no? So, sige nga, can you please type in the chat box, have you experienced this cycle as well? No, yung tinatawag nila na rat race cycle, no? Sige, no? You can type in yes or no if you've experienced this in some form or another. Ayan. Yes, no? So I'm happy kasi relatable pala siya. And yun din yung experience ko. Akala ko ako lang yung may ganong problema. Hindi pala, no? Marami din pala. And here is the statistics ng mga Filipinos. Did you know that 33% of Filipinos spend more than they earn, no? So mas malaki yung gastos nila kaysa kita nila. And probably one of the reasons bakit nagkakaroon sila ng ganong problema It's because 54% of Filipinos don't have a budget. So yung tendency mo kasi pag wala kang budget, you spend spontaneously. No? And when it's spontaneous, sometimes emotional siya, hindi siya logical. When it feels good, paminsan, our emotional decisions might not be the most positive decision for us in the long term. Okay? So, if I may ask you, no, currently, do you spend less than your full salary? Sige nga, can you type in yes or no? Yung kinikita nyo ba, no? Do you spend less than you earn? Sige nga. Type in your answers, yes or no. Do you currently spend less than your full salary? Yan, I'm happy may mga nag-yes. Congratulations. Right, no? Congratulations na if you're spending less than your full salary. Okay? Sige. Alright. Thank you so much. But konti lang yung sumagot. Yung iba parang shy sila to accept, no? Yeah. Tama, reality yun, no? Sabi ni Ariel, sometimes. Yes, ganun talaga. That's life, no? Paminsan, hindi natin alam ano nangyayari sa buhay natin that paminsan hindi siya consistent. But sometimes is also good already, no? Kasi ibig sabihin, yan, no? Yan, not all the time, no? Tapos may ano pa, may laugh emoji na ganun, parang napapakamot, no? Ayan. So, and it's okay, no? Change starts with acknowledging your current reality, no? And that's part of the journey. I'm not judging you, no? Because I've been there, no? I've been there. Kaya naiintindihan ko, no? Yung ganun na mga situation. And meron din dito sabi, sir, unemployed pa po kasi. Ayan. And that's part of it, no? And sabi niya dito, unemployed pa po. So I'm assuming na you want to be employed in the future. So this is still good, no? Kasi ibig sabihin, before ka pa magkaroon ng earning potential or earning opportunity, matutunan mo na yung mga good financial management, no? And ako nga kung if I were to turn back time, how I wish the things that I'm going to teach you tonight, I learned before pa ako, no? When I was also unemployed. No, 'di ba syempre right out of college technically unemployed ka niyan, no? So yan, and that's okay, no? Now it might be a good time to really prepare for the time when you are already employed or self-employed. Okay? So thank you for your participation. Now, when it comes to people, no, kanina sabi ko Filipinos tend to spend more than they earn, no? So essentially wala kang savings noon, 'di ba? Syempre that's simple math. Pero imagine, no, one of the reasons probably din bakit hindi tayo inclined to save is because baka wala rin tayong savings account. So parang wala tayong paglalagyan ng savings natin. When you look at statistics, 44% of Filipinos are unbanked. No? Medyo maganda na nga yan na number. Before mga digital e-wallet platforms, siguro it was just around 10% or less, di ba? But because of right now, mas madali na mag-open ng formal accounts or savings account, dumadami na rin. But still, 44% is quite low. And it doesn't even mean na kung meron kang savings account, merong laman yung savings account mo. Kasi di ba 44% walang savings account, pero 63% naman don't have savings, no? So, ibig sabihin yan, kahit may savings account ka, it doesn't also equate na merong laman yung savings account mo. Kasi nga, 63% walang ipon. So, in general, yung Filipinos, no, tayo, weak yung savings culture natin. So, I think you agree with me that all those statistics is quite problematic. So, as part, no, of growth and improvement, our question right now is how do we solve these common Filipino problems? So, if medyo nakarelate tayo doon sa mga common Filipino problems when it comes to handling finances, paano natin isa-solve yan, no? And I think this is where this scale-up training and development can come in. Kasi I know there's quite a number of mentors, but on my side, no, I'll be focusing more on financial literacy, no? And financial literacy is the ability to understand and effectively use various financial skills, no? So again, I'd like to highlight yung definition, ability to understand. So dapat naiintindihan natin Pero it doesn't always equate na nanaintindihan natin that we are effectively using what we know. Kasi I also know some professionals na magagaling sila no sa finance field. Pero paminsan they tell me na parang hindi rin nagja-jive yung profession nila sa personal finances nila, 'di ba? Even yung mga nakakausap ko nga ng mga estudyante, 'di ba? Magaling sila no, mga probably mga honor students and all, no? Pero kahit even nga yung allowance nila hindi nila na manage ng maayos. Okay? So again, yung financial literacy, it covers financial management, budgeting, and even investing. Okay? So again, I hope lahat ng matuturo namin sa inyo, you get to understand it and effectively use them sa personal strategies ninyo. Okay? Now, when we talk about financial literacy in the Philippines, no, we have to start with the reality. Alam niyo po ba na 7% lang ang naka-attend ng financial literacy session? So siguro even with this, no, you get to thank no Piper for the scale up training and development kasi with her efforts no sa scale up, medyo natutulungan natin i-increase yung people who are exposed to financial literacy session. Kasi sobrang konti pa lang talaga. And ito, sinasabi ko nga kanina, 'di ba? Kahit nag-attend ka ng session, it doesn't mean naman na na-absorb mo siya. Kasi when they did the study, when they asked people who attended financial literacy session, afterwards parang nag-post exam sila, only 2% correctly answered basic financial literacy questions, no? So merong absorption 'yon. And actually, I've designed my presentation tonight to a point na meron ako mga life challenges for you that I hope through those challenges, mas mai-ingrain natin yung mga concepts ng financial literacy. So, para sa akin talaga, it's more important to turn theory into practice. Kasi sayang yung alam mo if hindi mo siya na-apply. Okay? So, that's the status. And para lang maliwanagan din tayo no, how we stand sa world, 75% of Filipinos are considered financially illiterate. Kaya pag nirank tayo against other countries, we are actually in the bottom 30 out of the 144 countries. Kaya ako, I'm very grateful whenever I'm invited to be part, no, whether it's a speaking engagement or to become a mentor of a training and development. Kasi through these efforts, no, a 1 to 2 hour session is inching towards a better financially literate Philippines, no? So thank you, no? I'm grateful that kayo rin, you called to this session. Now, sabi ni Benjamin Franklin, I'll be starting off with this perspective that an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Kaya it's very important that you attended tonight kasi this is one of your biggest investment, no? Kasi number one, you invested time, no? And hopefully with the time that you're going to spend tonight, the knowledge that you're going to absorb and apply will hopefully pay you the best interest for the rest of your lives. Okay? So I hope you learn a lot from the session, and my core message or core na discussion this evening is the 5 easy steps to better money management. No? So I carefully titled this portion na better money management. Kasi di ba tinanong ko kayo kanina, how well do you manage your finances? Ang average yung sagot ninyo was between 5 to 6. No? 5 or 6, may iba na 8. So I know that you're doing some level of money management already. Alam ko meron na, syempre no, namamanage naman natin yung pera natin. But hopefully with this 5 easy steps that I'm going to share with you tonight, yung 5 to 6 nyo or yung 8 ninyo, it will be scaled up, no? Kasi nga we're trying to make it better, no? Better. So hopefully meron po ako ma-add value sa inyo tonight with this 5 easy steps. So siguro tingnan niyo na lang ano yung mga steps na ginagawa niyo right now and ano yung pwede niyo i-explore, no? So siguro yan po yung assignment niyo. And I actually structured this portion na parang walkthrough siya. So kung meron po kayong paper or any writing material dyan sa tabi ninyo, or maybe you can use your mobile phone na extra para you can walk through the steps with me. no? Na para magiging siyang workshop or activity based siya na parang habang tinuturo ko, you get to apply it sa personal circumstance ninyo. Okay? So, sige nga, can you please type in game if ready na? Kung okay na yung mga writing tools natin. Ayan. Okay. So, game. Para pa lang yung ano, no? Old na game show. Game ka na ba? O yan, game. Okay. Sige. So, I'm going to share with you 5 easy steps and I hope you walk through with me. Ito sa liman to. So, first step that I'm going to share with you is to determine your monthly take-home pay. Magkano yung natatanggap ninyo on a monthly basis? And I think this is the easiest step kasi nga, alam niyo to, no? Again, no need to chat, no? Kasi again, this is very personal. So, please write it dyan sa tabi ninyo. You don't need to reveal it to everybody, no? So, just have a personal reflection nyo. Alam nyo ba magkano yung kinakita nyo every month? No? So, if you're employed, madali lang to kasi medyo fixed yung salary natin. Kung self-employed tayo, medyo, I understand, mahirap siya tansyahin kasi cyclical yung business. So, siguro on average, or kung gusto nyo conservative, magkano yung pinakamababa nyong kita so far. So, again, mas importante lang na alam nyo magkano pumapasok regularly. Okay? So, for the purposes of discussion, I have here an example. Sabihin natin 30,000 pesos. Okay? So after knowing your salary, no? Expected salary mo, let's try to ask ourselves, no? Kamusta yung relationship natin sa monthly salary natin? Ano ba yung ginagawa natin sa sahod natin, no? So usually ang ginagawa natin sa sahod natin, no? Again, I'm talking from my personal experience. Noon pagdating ng sahod ko, ang una ko talang ginagawa is nag-iisip ako ng parang reward sa sarili ko. No, syempre no, you've been through a lot sa trabaho na parang may inaasam ka, 'di ba? Na I'm not sure if nadaanan niyo 'yan na you want to reward yourself, no? Noon when I was still younger, kahit yung student ako, yung isang reward ko talaga is after I withdraw money from my passbook or my ATM account, I eat out. No? Kumakain ako sa labas kasi yun yung reward ko. No? Nung estudyante ko, Jollibee, mga fast food kasi yun lang yung afford ko. Pero syempre nung nagtrabaho na from fast food, medyo doon na sa mga magagandang restaurant. No? So, yung first talaga na transaction ko from my salary is expenses. Okay? Expenses yung una talaga natatanggal. And funny enough, paminsan hindi pa ganun. Paminsan niya, hindi pa dumadating yung sweldo ko, no? Ina-anticipate ko pa siya, alam ko na kung saan ko siya gagastusin. And that's crazy, no? Ako, if I were to reflect upon it, parang di mo pa nga natanggap, alam mo na kung saan mo siya iwawaldas. 'Di ba? So, lalo na ngayon, case in point, no? I'm not sure if you have Shopee, Lazada, or TikTok apps sa phone ninyo, no? Pero if I may ask you, meron na bang naka-add to cart sa mga online shopping apps ninyo? Meron na ba? If meron, can you name how many? May iba nakikita ako, sobrang dami na nasa cart nila, 'di ba? Meron na bang naka-add to cart? Ayan. May nagsabi dito 4 daw. So meron din dito full na po, 'di ba? 99 plus. Okay, ayan. Meron din iba dito 5, no? I'm happy na medyo specific yung answers ninyo, no? But imagine, no? Anong ibig sabihin niyan, no? Yun essentially yung naka-add to cart natin, those are things that we want to buy pero wala pa tayong perang pang checkout. Now imagine that, no? Hindi pa dumadating yung cash flow natin, alam na natin kung saan siya gagastusin, no? So, and sometimes yun yung cycle, no? We spend what we earn, tapos ang sasabihin natin sa sarili natin is whatever is left, yun yung ipon natin. 'Di ba? I'm not sure if ako ganun ako mag-isip noon eh. Sige, mag-ipon ako. I understand, alam ko yung value ng pag-ipon. Pero mamaya ko na siya gagawin after I spend money, no? So, yung feeling ko noon when I was doing this strategy, parang for me to be able to save money, kailangan kong magtipid. sa expenses ko. So, when you have this flow, no, cash flow natin, parang yung tendency natin para makaipon tayo is we deprive ourselves, no? Parang ganun yung naging experience ko sa expenses, no? Parang yung attitude ko towards it. Kailangan kong magtipid para makaipon ako ng marami. No? And that's very important. I want you to put on hold muna yung thought na yan kasi later, balikan natin yan. As I'm going to share with you something that you might consider na medyo mag-iiba yung mindset natin. Now, one thing I learned when it comes to spending money is the reason why I did it before is because masarap sa feeling gumastos. 'Di ba? Ako, noon talaga pag kumakain ako sa labas, yung hindi ko na kailangan magluto, parang sobrang saya ko noon, no? Kasi less effort, walang hugasin and all. Tapos I get to taste things that hindi ko natikman noon, 'di ba? Tapos lalo na pag bumibili tayo ng mga gamit, 'di ba, na parang ang ganda tingnan, tapos parang ang ano niya 'no, parang attractive niya for other people. It signals something to others na, "Oy, may narating na ako sa buhay ko." In general, parang when I reflected upon spending, I did it because it felt good. No? It felt good. And sometimes the way I felt good was excessive. Sobra yung pagkagusto ko ng paggastos, 'di ba? But one thing that changed my mind when it comes to spending is that I realized na lahat ng expenses ko income ng ibang tao. 'Di ba? That's your basic definition of a transaction. But when I realized this, parang nagbago yung isip ko sa paggastos. Kasi imagine lahat ng yung pinaghirapan ko sa salary ko, I prioritize my expenses which is the income of other people bago ko pa naitabi yung savings ko. And for me, that doesn't add up. No? Kasi bakit ko ipa-prioritize yung ibang tao which is gastos ko, income nila, before my savings which is for myself and my future. So when I realized this, medyo nagbago yung pag-isip ko sa spending. I realized na I should pay myself first. And yan yung suggestion ko sa inyo this evening. From your hard-earned salary, unahin nyo tanggalin yung savings ninyo. Because savings is for yourself and your future. So you are paying from your hard-earned money, una yung tanggalin yung para sa'yo. No, unahin mo yung sarili mo. Pay yourself first through savings before you spend a single peso. No, unahin mo yung savings mo before you spend. So, ibig sabihin, itabi mo muna yung ipon mo, whatever is left, yun yung gagastusin mo. Okay? Pay yourself first. And kanina I held on for you a thought. No, 'di ba kanina, yung tendency mo kung last yung savings mo is magtitipid ka. Pero think about this, guys. If unahin mo yung savings mo and you spend whatever is left, ano yung attitude mo towards spending if alam mo in the first place you were able to save money already? Sige nga, can you type in the chat box? Ano kaya yung relationship mo with expenses kung alam mo nakapagtabi ka na beforehand? Mas magiging maluwag ka ba or would you still hold yourself back? Sige nga, can you type in, no? Ano kaya yung magiging relationship mo pag ganun yung situation? Okay? Sige, type in your experience reflection, kumbaga. Okay? Sige, waiting for your answers. No need to have a lengthy one, no? Okay? May holdback pa rin sa pag-spend. Oh, okay. Sige. Pwede naman you can still hold back, no? But I mean, kung alam mo na nakapag-ipon ka na, you can be more generous to yourself. You can be more liquid, no? Kasi alam mo, may natabi ka na for the future, no? So, for me, no, when you pay yourself first, it will change your relationship when it comes to spending. And from something na restrictive ka sa sarili mo, mas magiging maluwag ka. Okay? So that's my point for this concept, no? Sige, let me see. May humabol dito ng chat. Sabi ni Ariel, di na takot bumili ng mga bagay na di ko kailangan. Okay, I think we will discuss that as well. Yes, I agree, Ariel, na mas magiging confident ka to buy things that you want. Pero, syempre, no? We have to be realistic about it. And I think yan yung next na i-discuss ko sa inyo, no? But before we get to that portion, no, I want to share with you, no, when I talk about this, ang usually na sinasabi sa akin is, JP, siguro nakakapag-ipon ka kasi malaki yung sahod mo. But ako, I always assume whenever I conduct my talks, no, I would say yung salary ko is average, no? Sakto lang, 'di ba? Pero I'm here to break that myth as well. Kasi it's actually not about how much money you earn. Wala yan siya sa kinikita mo, but how much money you save. May mga kakilala ako na yung monthly income nila is nasa 6 digits. No? Sabihin natin 150,000 per month. Pero pag nag-uusap kami, paminsan sinasabi niya sa akin, yung gastos niya rin is nasa 180,000 per month. So yes, no, malaki yung sahod niya, 150,000 per month. Pero that person is still spending more than what he earns, 'di ba? May mga kilala din ako na 20 or 30,000 lang sila per month. Pero sila pa yung may discipline na mag-ipon ng 2,000 or 3,000 pesos every salary nila. And I think, no, in my perspective, mas mayaman, no? Yung taong 20 to 30,000 lang yung sahod pero may discipline to set aside money than the person earning more pero they also spend more as well. No? So again, it's not about how much money you earn but how much money you save. Nasa ipon mo yan, 'di ba? And don't get me wrong, ha? It doesn't mean na hindi ka na rin magsa-strive to have more income. Syempre, maganda pa rin if mas malaki yung income mo. But you have to be careful lang na when your income increases, your savings should also increase. Hindi lang lifestyle increase. Okay? So again, wala yan siya sa kita. It's about how you manage it and how you save money. Now, here's my first. Nasabi ko sa inyo kanina, di ba? I'll be giving you life challenges. No? Kasi at the end of the day, I cannot rate you. Hindi to class, hindi to something. No? Kasi hindi natin alam. This might be our last and only chance to discuss with each other. So, my life challenge for you is this. I want you to start saving at least 5% of your salary. No? Small steps muna. So if you're earning 30,000 pesos, set aside ka ng 1,500 pesos, no? Every month. And that's my first challenge for you. Okay? So sige nga, for those who'd like to accept this challenge, can you type in challenge accepted? Okay? Wala namang pilitan, nasa sa inyo. But I think if you're going to be up for this challenge, it's going to be net positive for your finances. Okay? So yeah, I'll wait for those who would accept the challenge. Ayan, thank you so much. Meron na nag-accept ng challenge, no? And again, kayo lang yung may commitment na yon, no? Kayo lang din makaka-check sa sarili ninyo if you were able to follow through with this challenge. Okay? So yan. So let's move on, no? Yung 5% ba, JP, is that already enough, no? Actually, good na yun na meron kang 5%. Pero you might consider ramping it up. For example, siguro stimulan mo with 5%. Pero syempre better if you have the more discipline after some time of doing this na you can be able to do it higher. Kasi yung next step na i-share ko sa inyo is to apply the 50-30-20 budgeting strategy. So again, hindi nyo pa natatanggap yung salary nito. Bago pa dumating yung next na pera ninyo, magkaroon ka na ng strategy. Or in this case, 50-30-20. Ano ibig sabihin nun? 50% for your needs. No? Again, this is a budgeting strategy. So you can set aside 50% for your needs, 30% for your wants, and 20% to save and invest. So again, as I mentioned kanina, if hindi pa kaya yung 20%, start with 5%. And hopefully through time, no, I'm not saying it bukas agad, no, you can do this gradually over the years, di ba? So ang importante lang is tumataas din yung savings natin na I hope darating sa 20%. So kung doon sa example natin na 30,000, again, you do this din sa respective sheets niyo, no? Sabi ko, doon sa step 1, alamin niyo magkano yung expected salary ninyo and you do the 50-30. So apply niyo lang yung percentages. Sa example natin kanina, 50% is 15,000 of 30. So 30% for once is 9,000. Tapos savings is 20%, so that is 6,000 pesos. So again, this is your budget plan before pa darating yung pera ninyo. Okay? Now, you have to understand as well that budgeting, no? I know I sounded off, no, yung strategy na 50-30-20. Pero it's not really a fixed na budget plan na ganun talaga kasi again, sabi ko nga kanina, 'di ba, magkakaiba tayo ng circumstances. So, you have to personalize your budget na depende siya sa circumstance niyo, i-apply niyo siya sa sarili niyo na life. And you can be very flexible about it. So, 'di ba sabi ko sa inyo kanina, 50% for your needs, 30% for your wants. If you're the type of personality talaga na mas prefer mo to spend on your needs than your wants, then you can adjust it naman. What I don't encourage lang is that some speakers sa personal finance, sabi nila, 'di ba, when they discuss about needs versus wants, what they're trying to imply is that wag kang mag-spend ng wants, only spend on your needs. Pero para sa akin, how can you enjoy life naman? How can you enjoy the blessings that you've been given through your salary if hindi ka rin gagastos ng wants mo? And I think mas magiging sustainable yung journey mo if you get to enjoy it as well. So my point here lang is that yes, you need to identify what is a need and a want. And siguro prioritize mo yung needs kaysa sa wants mo. Pero wag mo rin tanggalin yung wants mo. Because again, isang beses na lang tayo sa buhay natin. So dapat na i-enjoy din natin yung journey natin to building wealth. Okay? So, if you're the type of person rin na gusto mong mag-give back to other people, this is also something nice that you can do. I know sa simula parang ayaw natin tong gawin kasi nga feeling natin sa sarili nga natin hindi tayo nakaka-survive. Pero I think maganda siya na i-consider natin ilagay sa budget natin kasi it's in the abundance cycle, no? Yung tipong I know you might not have a lot or you might not have many as much money as you desired to, pero I think when you give back to other people, doors of opportunities will open, no? That's in my personal experience na tipong because mas nag-allocate ako for my charity and donations, for some reason the universe has also aligned na nabigyan din ako ng more opportunities. Sabi nga ni Anne Frank, 'di ba? No one has ever become poor by giving. And I think pag na-apply mo tong charity and donations, it actually, no, in my experience, it cures yung tendency ng tao to be greedy, no? And when it comes to money, mahirap na if greedy yung tao. So you have to acknowledge, no, na no matter how hard your life is, no matter how challenging your life is, no, some people have it harder, no? And I think when you give back to other people, parang it grounds yourself na no matter how tough life is sa yung perspective, no, hindi natin alam na yung complain natin ngayon, dream na pala ng iba yun. No? And remember lang natin yung abundance cycle, no? We give back, no? And history will tell us ano yung impact niyan sa personal lives natin. Okay? So, yan. If you're the type of person as well na mas gusto mo malaking allocation for investment rather than savings, go ahead. So my point here is that if wala ka pang budget strategy, start with 50-30-20, but feel free to adjust it depende sa circumstance mo. That's my main point for the following slides. Okay? Now, moving forward, no, when I talk to people, usually na sinasabi niya sa akin na, 'di ba, na nasi-share nila na experience na may mga times na napapakamot sila ng ulo nila when they look at their wallet or their bank accounts, they ask themselves, saan ba napunta yung pera ko? No? And when people tell me that, that's a sign for me na wala kang budget. Kasi a budget is telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Kasi kaya sabi ko sa inyo, 'di ba, yung step 2, you do that before you receive your salary. No? Bago pa dumating yung pera sa'yo, pagplanuhan mo na kung saan pupunta yung pera mo. Because if you don't do that, hindi mo malalaman kung saan napunta yung pera mo after that cycle. Okay? So I hope that's something na mag-change sa inyo. And here's my next life challenge for you. I want you guys to create a budget plan for your next salary. So ngayon, medyo na-start nyo na, meron kayong worksheet dyan sa tabi ninyo. But I want you to create a budget plan sa next na salary ninyo or cash flow ninyo. Okay? So for those who like to accept the challenge, no, now might be the time na you can also chat, no, na challenge accepted. No? And by the way, talking about budget, yung budget guys, the reason why I asked you to write them down is dapat nakasulat siya. Maybe some of you here, yung budget nila nasa isip lang. Pag nasa isip lang kasi yung budget natin, andaling mag-justify na hindi siya parang commitment to yourself na ito yung gagawin mo sa pera mo. Depende lang sa feeling mo. No? So, yun yung mahirap if nasa isip lang yung budget kasi it's so easy to not follow through with it and it's easy to justify na hindi ko muna to gagawin ngayon. So, when you write it down kasi parang nagiging commitment siya na this is my plan for when I receive my salary. Okay? So, thank you for those who accepted the challenge, no? And with that, no, dapat you follow through your budget plan. Hindi yung tipong ngayon gagawin ko, sunod hindi ko. It's really a commitment for your future. Okay? So, let's go to step number 3. Ngayon dumating na yung pera mo, meron ka ng budget plan. So, depende doon sa budget allocation mo, I want you to put those allocated money in separate envelopes or bank accounts. So, noon kasi wala pang mga digital account, so usually ginagamit nila is envelope. So, depende sa budget allocation mo, you put in, let's say, 6,000 sa savings and invest, 15,000 doon sa needs mo, 9,000 doon sa wants mo. So, nakalabel yan, no? When you go to online shops, may nakikita din kayo dyan na yung mga wallet na may mga separator na, you can label them para at least alam mo na that portion is for that specific purpose. 'Di ba? And yan yung gusto ko sa technique na to. Kasi for example, you go to a grocery store. Syempre, yung nasa grocery store, most of them are your needs. So pag check out mo doon sa counter, you take out the envelope or that wallet for your needs, no? Or kung nasa bank account mo yun, you use your card for that need. Kasi needs nga yung binibili mo. And actually, when you use the envelope, pagtingin mo pa lang sa envelope, alam mo if afford mo yun or hindi. Kasi if afford mo, may enough na pera doon. Okay, so you pay for your grocery. So, let's say, after grocery, gusto mong dumaan sa department store. Tapos pagdaan mo sa department store, may nakita kang sapatos doon na parang, uy, ang ganda, no? I want to buy this, pero meron pa naman akong mga sapatos sa bahay. So, in this case, dyan pa lang na concept na yun, alam mo na want mo yun, no? Want. And again, you use this strategy, no? Gamitin mo, open mo yung envelope for your wants, no? For your wants. So, check mo. Let's say yung cost ng sapatos na yun is nasa 4,000 pesos. And since you have 9,000 pesos sa wants mo, go ahead, buy that shoes. 'Di ba? So, ito yung medyo different for me, no, when I teach about this stuff. Kasi yung iba parang sasabihin pa nila na pag-isipan mo muna and all. Pero ito, yes, it's nice na pag-isipan mo siya. Pero if you feel like you like to buy it on that specific time already, as long as meron kang budget for it, go ahead. No? Kasi again, meron ka naman naka-allocate for it. No? So, that's okay. No? Again, that's living life and enjoying it din, di ba? At the same time, ensuring na na-cover yung needs mo. No? So, ang hindi lang pwede is this one. No? Yung tipong may nakita kang appliance, no, na parang malaking TV or something, no, na working pa naman yung TV nyo, 'di ba? Tapos, pagtingin mo sa TV, it's already worth 30,000, sabi natin worth 30,000 pesos, no? Tapos, pagtingin mo sa wants envelope mo, you only have 9,000 pesos, no? So, syempre, 9,000 lang for your want. Now, something there has 30,000 pesos. Okay? So, alam mo na hindi mo talaga afford yun, no? Pero sometimes, let's say meron kang enough na pera sa saving and invest and needs that can cover the 30,000, what you cannot do lang is to transfer these allocations for this one. Na yung tipong i-justify mo na babawi lang ako next time. Okay? So that that's something na I don't encourage you to do. No, kasi again, kaya ka gumawa ka ng separate envelopes, nag-allocate ka kasi yun yung purpose nila. And you need to follow through. Okay? So you can do that, no? So ayan, no, I hope you're learning something, no? And I hope gagawin niyo talaga siya. Now, talking about ngayon, no, noon kasi envelope technique siya, but ngayon in this day and age, meron na mga things that can help us na hindi na manual, no? So, lalo na in this day and age, parang dapat automated yung mga ginagawa natin para hindi natin siya nakakalimutan. So, this is what I do sa payroll ko, no? Alam ko naman yung schedule ng payroll ko, every 15:30 may pumapasok na pera dyan. So what I do is I schedule fund transfer transactions one day after my payroll schedule. So that's 16th and the first day of the month. So every time that during that date, I already have a budget plan, no? So yung sabi ko kanina 50, 30, 20, dito ko rin i-introduce sa inyo na hindi lang dapat isa yung savings account natin. I recommend you open other accounts for different purposes. So dapat may account ka for your needs, for your wants, and for your savings and investments. Okay? And you schedule fund transfer transactions para automated yung step number 3 mo. Okay? So for me, game changer to. Ang laking tulong nito kasi hindi ko na siya kailangan gawin. I don't spend any time to it. Now, automatic, no? Naka-separate yung pera ko. And ngayon, pwede naman kayo mag-tap sa POS for your, for example, it's a grocery store, department store, accepted naman yun. Yun, it's so easy. Para at least, alam mo na, itong card na to, this ATM is for this savings is for this, so on and so forth. Okay? So I hope ito maging game changer din sa'yo. Automation is really key. Okay? Now, I'm also going to give you my best advice when it comes to saving money. No? The best way to save money is not to see the money at all. Kaya I recommend yung automation kasi hindi dumadaan yung pera sa atin. Kasi paminsan pag dumadaan yung pera sa atin, pag hawak-hawak na natin yon, even the best strategy sometimes gets defeated by our emotion. Kasi pag nasa atin yung pera, nakikita natin yon, ang dami nating temptations and paminsan we don't follow through with our financial decisions. So in my experience, the best way for me to save money is not to see the money at all. Okay? Kaya sobrang ganda pag automated siya kasi hindi ko siya nakikita. No, physically hindi ko siya nakikita. And when I don't see money, parang yung propensity ko to spend bumababa din. Okay? So I hope this is something that will be helpful for you as well. Okay? So ayan, let's move on to the next challenge. No? So kung wala pa kayong savings account, again, statistics is telling us that 44% are unbanked, no? So just in case you're part of the population na wala pang savings account, my next challenge for you is to open a savings account. And syempre, I encourage you to open a Metrobank na savings account. Noon, kailangan mong pumunta sa bangko, but when you download the Metrobank app, meron na actually diyang option sa login, open an account, wherein it will help you open an e-savings account. Imagine you only need to maintain 2,000 pesos. Tapos pag nag-hit yung savings mo ng 10,000, it will already earn interest. Also, may mga features tong e-savings account because it can get you up to 4 times InstaPay rebates per month. And yung mention ko kanina, di ba, automate, schedule your bills payments, send load, and fund transfers. So pwede mo ma-apply yung natutunan natin tonight. And you can even withdraw from any Metrobank or PS Bank ATM using cardless withdrawal. No? So may mga ganong features. No? So as long as you are a Filipino citizen with 18 plus years old and a valid government ID, pwede nyo na po itong gawin. Okay, so ayan. So for those who'd like, just in case wala pa kayong Metrobank account, consider doing this. No? Madali lang din naman siya. Okay, sige. So for those who'd like to accept the challenge, dami kong challenge sa inyo, no? Dami kong assignment for you. But I know when you do these steps, I think it's going to be net positive for your financial future. Kaya I'm okay in giving out these challenges. Okay? So sige, I think wala pang nag-accept ng challenge. Di ko naman kayo mapipilit, no? Okay, let's go to step number 4. Okay, di ba kanina naka-separate na siya? No, it's in different envelopes already. Ngayon, you're going to spend that money already. Now, my step number 4 is this one. Track expenses to check for leaks. Okay, so share ko lang yung how I do this. No? Noon, when I was a student, pinapadala na ako ng parents ko ng allowance every 15 and 30. No? Kasi I studied in another city dito sa Philippines. So pinapadala na ako ng allowance. Sa akin lang that time, I wanted to make sure lang na alam din ng parents ko saan ko ginagastos yung pera nila. So what I do is I log my monthly expenses. So noon meron akong logbook wherein I write all down my expenses to justify lang paano ko naubos yung allowance na binigay nila. No? So meron akong log niyan noon. Manual pa masyado that time. Tapos whenever umuwi ako ng bahay, pinapakita ko sa kanila. Kung meron akong mga resibo, I attach that to that logbook. Pero yun lang, no? I did that during my high school and college years. Pero never ko talaga na-consider na, no? That time, check na. I was doing step number 4. Pero hindi ko na-impute doon sa strategy ko yung pag-iipon. Kasi again, yung thought ko that time when I was a student is that I just want to show my parents na I'm spending their money well. Pero as in, yung iniisip ko talaga is okay lang ubusin yung allowance. So by the way, just in case meron pong mga parents dito na nagbibigay na ng allowance sa students, you can start them with this. No? Na tipong you tell them na itong pera na binibigay ko sa inyo, yes, you can consume this. Pero baka you can grab the opportunity na habang binibigyan nyo sila ng allowance, you get to teach them how to save money as well. Kasi you can actually challenge them na, yes, I'm going to give you 100, pero itong 100 pesos na to, I want you to set aside 20 pesos first. Then you help them open a savings account. Pwede naman yan. May mga student-friendly na mga accounts out there. So, at least when you give out allowances, you're also having that opportunity to teach them how to save money. Kasi pag hindi nila natutunan paano mag-ipon ng pera when they're still students, kahit maliit lang yung pera na binibigay natin, mataas yung probability that pagtrabaho nila, hindi din sila marunong mag-save kahit lumaki na yung sweldo nila. Okay? It starts with the family. Okay? So, that's something that I will be do, no? Sa anak ko rin in the future na kahit ako, I think I'm nakaset na yung mind ko na, 'di ba? When I was a student, lumaki na yung daily na allowance ko when I was elementary, high school, and college. Pero hindi ko talaga naisip na dapat mag-save pala ako, no? Dapat tumataas din yung savings ko. Kasi hindi ko nga naisip yung saving kasi iniisip ko sa allowance, okay lang ubusin to. And again, if you have students, it might be a good opportunity na turuan sila na kahit maliit lang yung binibigyan natin na allowance, pwede kang mag-ipon. Kasi again, balik ako doon sa isang quote ko kanina. It's not about how much money you earn, but how much money you save. And when it comes to building wealth, it's really skill, no? If hindi mo kaya ma-manage yung 100 pesos mo, I'm sure hindi mo kaya mag-manage ng 1,000 pesos. More so 10,000 pesos or 100,000 pesos. So you really have to start small, no? Case in point, kaya 'di ba yung mga lotto winners, nabigla sila that they have hundreds of millions of pesos. Yung sanay lang nila na hawakan ng pera is just 1 million pesos or a few hundreds thousands of pesos. So nung nabigyan sila ng hundreds of millions of pesos, they spent it like it was just a couple of hundreds of thousands of pesos. Because again, money management is a skill. It's not about how much money you have. It's about your discipline in saving or keeping that money. Kaya kailangan natin turuan yung mga anak natin, bata pa lang, kahit 50 pesos yan, 20 pesos yan, pwede kang makapag-ipon niya. Okay? And ako, yung rule ko in the future sa anak ko is I will not raise your allowance if I don't see your savings increasing. Kasi ibig sabihin yan, I don't like to incentivize you na just because lumaki ka, you deserve a higher allowance. You deserve higher if you know or you show me that kaya mo nang i-manage yung 50 pesos. Kaya mo nang i-manage yung 100 pesos. No? If hindi mo pa mapapakita sa akin na kaya mo i-manage yung ganong amount, you stay at that level. Okay? So, that's my thoughts on how I'm going to approach allowance sa aking mga anak in the future. Okay? No? Problema lang yung paglalambingin-lambingin tayo, 'di ba? Syempre at the end of the day, weak tayo sa anak natin, but I'll do my best, no? Kasi alam ko I'll sacrifice kahit mamasamain nila ako, pero I know it will going to be positive for them in the future. Okay? Now, going back, no? Again, this is probably one of the hardest steps that I taught you tonight. Kasi sa akin din, it took me 2 to 3 years to really develop this habit, no? But one of my motivation why I do this is this one. Beware of little expenses. Even a small leak can sink a great ship. Kahit gaano pa kaganda ng barko mo, made out of the best materials out there, the biggest boat out there, pero if may butas po yan, time will come that boat will sink. Okay, so anong analogy nun? Yung boat is your wealth. If may butas yung wealth mo or yung pera mo, mauubos na mauubos yan. Depende gaano kalaki, gaano kaliit yung butas, ganon din kabilis kung gaano babagsak yung wealth mo or yung boat mo. Now, how do you know if may butas if you don't know or you don't track your expenses? The reason why I'm encouraging you to track your expenses, ibig sabihin yan, 15 pesos na pamasahe sa jeep, 30 pesos na pamasahe sa tricycle, you track every single peso. It's going to be challenging but it's going to be worth it kasi alam mo kung saan yung butas ng finances mo. And you don't know where to fix that hole if you don't know where the holes are in the first place. Okay? So that's step number 4. What I shared you kanina was manual. But in this day and age, no, meron na tayong mga mobile apps out there that can help us with this step. And before I share anything about this slide, no, I just want to have a disclaimer that I'm not affiliated with this company, nor am I earning anything for mentioning about this in this presentation. I-share ko lang to sa inyo because sobrang laking tulong nito for the past 7 or 8 years na ginagamit ko to. And by that, if you will be asking me anong ginastusan ko nung 2022, March 24, masasabi ko kung ano yun. Kasi that's how long I've been tracking my finances. Ever since 2017, 2018, I've been using this already. Okay? So what I love about this app is number 1, we can apply step number 4. You can log all your expenses, attach certain categories to it. Tapos every after end of the week or end of the month, it can generate to you visual reports. Malalaman mo kung mas mataas yung income mo kaysa expenses mo visually, hindi lang estimate. And you can even know kung sa ano yung mga sources of income mo. Saan yung pinakamalaki, pinakamaliit, and you can focus better there. And sa expenses na side, malalaman mo rin kung saan ka gumastos ng pinakamalaki. Dito mo rin malalaman if you are within budget. And talking about budget, since naglalog ka ng transactions mo, you attach a category to it, nagmo-monitor din yan siya. You can set a budget for yourself. Sabihin natin for your food and beverages, ito lang yung budget mo. Every time you log an entry for that specific category, nag-update tong progress bar. No? So nakikita mo kung how well you are sa budget mo. And it will notify you as well na malapit ka na ma-hit yung budget mo. You're already within your budget. And lastly, magno-notify din siya kung above budget ka na. So it's really your finances in your fingertips. And I hope this app will help you as much as it had helped me. I'm not limiting you as well to this one and only app. There are many apps out there na sa Play Store or App Store. Hanap kayo ng best fit for you. On my own lang is that ito lang yung ginagamit ko ever since. No? Kaya that's the reason why I'm able to share this kasi familiar ako sa app to. Okay? But again, hanap kayo ng mas hiyang kayo. Okay, so that's my next challenge to you. Download an expense tracker app. No? Kasi again, this is to help you with the step na tracking your expenses. Okay? So for those who like to accept the challenge, you can now chat challenge accept. Okay? So I don't have to wait for you. Nasa sa inyo yan, no? Parang humihina yung number of people who will be willing to accept the challenge. Ang dami mo namang assignment, JP, no? Yes, no. And I'm not expecting you na magagawa niyo to agad-agad lahat. But each of these steps can help you go closer to your financial goals. Okay? So let's move on to step number 5. Oh, so patapos na pala tayo kasi nasa step number 5 tayo. You save and invest the difference. Lalo na pag nagtatrack ka ng expenses mo, mas nagiging conscious ka. Mas nagiging aware ka sa mga expenses mo. And even before you spend, di ba? May tip sa inyo beforehand was dapat meron kayong savings before. Pero pag nagiging conscious kayo sa spending nyo, ang tendency din yan is that mas meron kayong naiipon, sobra pa, no? And if you have sobra, ang experience ko noon ganito, yung story ko noon. For example, sahod bukas. Tapos this afternoon nakita ko meron pa akong mga 2,000 pesos, so may sobra pa ako. Yung thought ko noon is that since may sobra ako today, bukas bibigyan na naman ako ng fresh na pera from my salary. Tinitext ko yung mga kaibigan ko, gala tayo, no? Kasi alam ko may extra pa ako, tapos bukas bibigyan na ako ng another pera. Pero late ko na-realize na dapat pala kung may sobra ka for that period, i-save mo. Kasi if you're already able to hit your goals with your predetermined savings before, kung meron ka pang maiipon extra, mas mapapadali yung pag-achieve ng financial goals mo. Kaya I encourage you sa step number 5, save and invest the difference. Okay? So that's step number 5. And why I encourage this is this, guys, no? Why I really encourage people to save and invest, because wealth is the money you don't spend. Na paminsan nakikita natin sa social media na wow, ang sarap ng buhay nila, they get to experience this and that. Ang dami nilang travel, ang dami nilang all, no? But don't forget about my quote kanina, that your expense is another person's income. Okay, again, no problem if you spend money as long as within budget siya. But you have to understand that true wealth is the money you don't spend. So kasi lahat ng spendan mo, those will be income of other people, not for yourself and your future savings. Okay? So yeah. But again, I discuss about investing, no? But before investing, no? This is my checklist usually, no? Bago kayo mag-invest, no? We're not going to talk investing right now, but just in case you're considering investing, I hope you have this checklist. Number 1, hopefully my savings rate can at least 20%. So that's the reason why I encourage 20% savings. Kasi I think if you have that discipline already, magiging ready ka na sa investments. Okay? And once you have 20% na savings, saan mo siya unang ilalagay? Consider to build an emergency fund. No? Ano yung emergency fund? This is the fund that you're going to set aside for emergencies, no? From the name itself. And I know kayo siguro may mga fund na kayo for this, yung emergency fund. But how do you know if it's already enough? Ang benchmark is 3 to 6 months worth of monthly expenses. So, kung medyo stable yung trabaho mo, siguro 3 months will be okay. Kung medyo may volatility yung income natin or yung stability ng trabaho natin, siguro 6 months to 1 year will be good. But that tells you, for example, kung 20,000 pesos yung monthly expenses mo, times 3 is 60,000, times 6 is 120,000. So alam mo if enough na yung emergency fund mo, if you're spending 20,000 per month, enough na yung emergency fund mo if it's between 60,000 to 120,000. Okay? So, ayan, if hindi pa enough yung emergency fund natin, ang daming opportunities. I'm assuming most of you here are employed. So if you're receiving 13th month pay, in the first place, dapat di ba walang 13th month sa calendar? So dapat on that 13th month, wala tayong 13th month expenses. So if there's no 13th month expenses, yung buong 13th month pay ideally could have been saved. No? So if you're receiving 13th month pay, I encourage you, kung hindi pa puno yung emergency fund ninyo, lagay nyo muna si emergency fund. 3 years lang kayo sa trabaho ninyo, meron na kayong 3 months worth of emergency fund. Yung iba kasi, ang ginagawa nila sa 13th month pay nila, it gives them the license to spend. Yung mga things na hindi nila kayang spend on their normal salary. So, I hope you change. Again, no problem sa ganun ha if meron ka ng emergency fund. Pero kung wala ka pang emergency fund, lagay mo muna sa emergency fund. If you're receiving bonuses or allowances for doing a good job, siguro spend some, but make sure to save some as well. No? And ito, salary increases. No, for sure, na-experience nyo yan. If you hop from one job to another, usually tumataas yung salary mo. If you perform well year on year sa company mo, usually may salary increase yan. Again, you can increase your lifestyle, but hopefully yung increase ng lifestyle mo is also in step with your increase sa savings mo. So if you increase your lifestyle by 10%, hopefully your savings also increase by 10%. And that's okay. Ang challenging lang dyan is what if 100% ka nag-increase sa lifestyle mo, ubos yung salary increase mo. Okay, so again, it's not about how much money you earn, but how much money you save. Okay? And once you have an emergency fund already, ang next na what I'd like you to consider is to have insurance coverage. So para sa akin, no, life continues to humble us down. May mga panahon talaga na i-remind tayo na there are curveballs sa buhay. There are things na parang hindi natin expected. And to cover for those, yun po yung purpose ng insurance. And again, when you go to Metrobank branches, usually may mga representatives from AXA there. Pwede kayo pumunta doon, no? And probably if you're employed, meron kang coverage sa PhilHealth. But sa akin, no, sa experience ko when my wife got had her delivery ng baby namin, yes, nakakatulong si PhilHealth pero paminsan hindi siya enough. So diyan na pumapasok yung other insurance coverage mo kasi it can really fill the gap, no? Ang suggestion ko, again, I'm not a licensed financial advisor or insurance na agent. So itong i-share ko sa inyo ha is based from my experience lang. Yung point ko dito is you talk to your financial advisor or your insurance agent para mas ma-explain nila sa inyo. Pero based sa experience ko, I prefer that you have both health and life insurance coverage. Kasi hindi mo alam which will happen first. So while you are still young, kuha kayo ng health and life coverage. No? So if you're already senior, meron ng mga senior friendly na mga instruments out there. Pero yung suggestion ko talaga is habang mas bata kayo, kuha kayo para mas mura yung premium niyo. Okay? And there are many types of insurances out there. Baka other insurance instruments will be better fit for you after you talk with your financial advisor or your insurance agent. But sa perspective ko, mas prefer ko yung pure insurance na term insurance lang. Kasi sa akin, mas value for money siya. So mas gusto ko yung term insurance rather yung mga investment link insurance. So again, it depends really sa circumstance niyo, but sa akin, mas gusto ko yung term insurance kasi mas value for money siya. Okay? And para malaman mo na enough yung insurance coverage mo, siguro you start with 3 to 5 years worth of your income. So if your annual income is 500,000, then a good benchmark will be times 3 times 5. So that's about 1.5 million to times 5, that's 3 times 5, 2.5 million. So 1.5 million to 2.5 million kung 500,000 yung uh, annual income mo. But again ha, hindi yan siya kailangan mo bayaran agad-agad. Yun yung maganda sa insurance kasi you'll pay regularly lang, monthly, quarterly, or annually. Pero once that policy is enforced, covered ka na nun kahit isang beses ka palang nagbayad. So you're essentially putting the risk to the insurance company, which is a really good financial move. 'Di ba? So I hope you can consider this. And yung mga term insurance, kung 1.5 million to 2.5 million, I know there are very cheap na alternatives there na explore niyo. Kausapin niyo na lang yung financial advisor niyo. Punta kayo sa mga Metrobank branches, may AXA dyan na representatives. Kausapin niyo sila. No? Mas magaling sila kaysa sa akin. No? So, yan. That's for the insurance. And so okay na, no? May emergency fund, insurance coverage ka. And last that I'd like to discuss is hopefully low yung debt to income ratio mo. So ibig sabihin yung binabayad mo sa mga monthly na mga utang mo or amortization, again from this point pa lang na makikita yun na talaga that I'm not totally against debt, no? It's okay that you have debt pero dapat manageable siya, no? So yung benchmark ko dito is hopefully yung binabayad niyo sa mga utang ninyo is not more than 35% of your salary or your income. Kasi in those levels, very manageable siya. Okay? And with that, no, we don't have time to discuss it tonight. I'm going to discuss this in our next session. No, when I talk to Piper, yung plan niya kasi is magkaroon tayo ng multiple na financial management session. So tonight, ang pinag-usapan po natin is the art of money management. Lahat ng mga tips na binigay ko dito are tips on how to crisis-proof your finances na hindi ka mabigla-bigla for unexpected events. Yung next na pag-uusapan natin, siguro like and follow nila yung scale up na page para malaman kung kailan yung schedule. I want to talk about utang, wherein I'm going to hone in not all utangs are created equal. Iko-compare natin yung bad debt versus good debt. And actually, no, kung nasanay tayo na tayo yung nangungutang, there's also a good alternative na tayo yung magpautang. And that's what we call bonds. So yan po yung pag-uusapan natin sa next financial management session, debt management. And after that, we will have other consecutive sessions as well. We can talk about investing. Paano nyo malaman yung perfect investment match nyo. Or if you want to it be done by a professional fund manager, meron din dyan how to effortlessly build wealth. And for those of you na baka gusto nyo maging client ng First Metro Set, we can also teach you, no? We can help you with your investment journey. Okay? So that's going to be our track, no? Like and follow nyo lang si Scale Up for our upcoming sessions. Okay, so just to recap our discussion tonight, I shared to you 5 easy steps to better money management. Number 1, dapat you determine your monthly salary. Apply the 50-30-20 budgeting strategy. Put allocated money in separate envelopes or bank accounts. Track expenses to check for leaks and save and invest the difference. No? But again, before you invest, preferably you are doing this 5 steps already. Tapos you also have emergency fund already, and you also have insurance coverage. And pag-usapan next time yung debt management. So with that, this is my final quote to you. The art of money management isn't about having more, but about having control. No, yung lahat ng mga tips na binigay ko, those are giving you control, 'di ba? And with every smart choice, you are crisis-proofing your finances. and building a legacy of security and opportunity. No? So lalo na itong aspect na to, the one of the motivation dapat natin when it comes to saving is that it opens doors of opportunity and it gives us security kasi meron tayong surplus. Okay? So you should be able to take advantage of those. So to everyone in attendance, we're nearing 60 participants already towards this end. I want you all to master your money so that you can master your life. Okay? So with that, I hope you learned a lot from my session. No? So we'd like to hear your feedback. So if we can scan this, I encourage everyone to scan this QR code. Gusto ko malaman kung what are the things that resonated well with you, what you like best sa session natin. And of course, saan yung medyo sa tingin niyo pwede ko pang ma-improve for our next sessions for Scale Up. So feel free to tap there. And I know I shared some topics na pwede natin i-discuss. Baka pwede nyo rin ilagay doon ano yung mga other topics na gusto nyong pag-usapan. Okay? So looking forward to your feedback. I want you to scan this QR code para I get to be better sa next opportunity. Okay? So if you are here in Mindanao and you want to visit our office, we're just in Abriza Ayala Mall. We're open Mondays to Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except holidays. And kaming tatlo yung official representatives of our company. We handle the whole Mindanao. So sa amin, efficiency is key. So yan, laban. And if you want to learn more about the company I represent, you can go to the Facebook pages of First Metrosec. Hanapin nila yung handle at First Metrosec. Nasa Facebook kami, IG, Spotify, X, YouTube, Viber, TikTok, and LinkedIn. If you want to download our mobile app, First Metrosec Go, I know hindi pa tayo nag-usap about investing talaga in detail, but you can start downloading it already. Nasa Google Play and Apple App Store yung app namin. Okay, and with that, we now move on to the Q&A. I think we still have a couple of minutes. Yan, I think we have mga 15 to 20 minutes should you have any questions. Okay? Back to you, Piper. Baka you'd like to moderate.
Okay, so ayan. So guys, it's still 7:37 in the evening pa naman. So we still have like 23 minutes no bago matapos yung ating webinar. If you have questions na gusto ninyong i-raise while we are still live here no sa ating webinar, pwede ninyong i-ask yan ngayon. Kung nahihiya kayong mag-turn on ng inyong microphone, you can actually like chat na lang no sa ating chat box. Mas maganda kasi na while yung questions ninyo, at least baka yung ibang participants yun din ang question nila kaya mas masagot siya ng isahan na lang. But of course, as mentioned earlier while waiting for some questions no, if you want to book for example, if you are looking for a financial management mentor, you can actually reach out to us as well, or you can actually reach out directly to Sir JP kasi pwede kayong magpa-book directly to him or through Scale Up if you need someone no na maging mentor ninyo or maging coach pagdating sa financial management, because as mentioned, yan yung isa sa mga services na ino-offer natin. So let me share again my screen para sa ating, magbibigay na lang din ako ng final instructions ko bago tayo mag-end no, while waiting for some questions nga. Of course, again, maraming ulit salamat Sir JP for always accepting no yung aming invitation as a resource person and now as a mentor specifically for Scale Up. So thank you for always allocating your time no para sa mga nitong klaseng learning session. I'm very happy na for how many years industrial and developmental partner na tayo, especially with the First Metro Securities. Okay, so since wala namang questions na na-raise no, I am now going to share here the attendance sheet. So pwede ninyong i-scan directly on your screen yung QR code. But to those na gumagamit ng computer, kindly check the chat box ng Zoom conference natin kasi I also chatted the link, the Google form for the attendance sheet for tonight's webinar. Nung nag-register kayo no, sa ating registration form, di ba meron kaming i-issue sa inyo na certificate of participation. We are going to start to process your certificates after this learning session. Pero hindi kasi namin mag-guarantee na tonight din namin mai-email sa inyo. Pero ang mag-guarantee namin is tomorrow morning, you can check your email kasi sigurado na ako na by that time, mada-download na ninyo through your registered email yung in-avail ninyong certificate for this learning session. Kasi it's already like almost 8 na, kaya hindi namin ma-assure na mai-email namin tonight. So tomorrow na lang. Anyway, Sunday din naman bukas. You need to fill in the attendance sheet kasi we need to identify kung sino yung mga registrants ang talagang nag-participate ng live sa ating learning session. Kasi ang bawat certificate na i-issue namin sa inyo, meron siyang personalized or meron siyang sariling serial number. Kasi if in case lang na kung gagamitin niyo ang certificate, for example, for a job application, ganyan, tapos may mag-contact sa amin, may mag-reach out to us amin to verify kung talagang nag-participate kayo, we can easily search and locate your name through that serial number. Kaya ang bawat certificate, meron siyang unique. Hindi kayo magkakapareho ng serial number. Kaya sa aming part, it will take time, no? Kasi papalitan namin yung serial number ng bawat certificate. So that's why sabi ko tomorrow morning na lang ninyong i-check yung inyong inbox. The learning session is 2 hours. 'Di ba? May may option doon sa ating registration form. May 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 at saka 8. To those who availed nung sobra sa 2 hours, we are going to send your independent learning activities, self-paced na yon, na mga activities in order for you na ma-justify natin na a total of 4 hours, 6 hours, and 8 hours talaga yung financial management ninyo na certification. We are just going to email the independent learning activities, self-paced, sa inyo together with your certificate. Okay? So again, doon sa mga nag-avail ng sobra sa 2 hours, you need to you need to finish, no, para ma-justify natin again na extended yung inyong learning session kasi meron kayong mga learning activities. Okay? And yung sa certificate of authenticity, there are also individuals asking about it, no? Bale, tinatanong kasi kami kung para saan daw yun. Kung baga, it is similar to a document na nagpa-certify ka ng true copy. Like for example, sa mga schools, 'di ba, sa universities, kung kukuha ka ng copy of your transcript of records, 'di ba? Pwede nilang i-authenticate na certified true copy talaga 'yon, na galing mismo sa university. So yung certificate of authenticity is similar to that, no? It's a QR code na naka-attach sa inyong certificate na once ma-scan, whoever will scan it, it will redirect to the authenticity of your certificate. Kumbaga parang nag-verify talaga na you participated today. Indicated sa certificates ninyo ang total number of hours. Kaya kung ano yung in-avail ninyo, yun yung magre-reflect doon sa inyong certificate. Okay? So again, hopefully, no, na scan na ninyo ito for the attendance sheet or na-visit na ninyo yung link konti lang naman yung ano doon, if you fill in the information. Kaya hopefully nakapag-attendance na yung nasa 50, 53, no? Kasi hindi na kami kasama ni Sir JP doon sa 55, minus 3 pala. Kasi naka-open din ako sa aking cellphone. So meron tayong 52 na live participants for tonight. So we are also expecting na merong 53 na registrants or mag-fill in doon sa attendance sheet. Merong shinare kanina si Sir JP na evaluation form. I actually took a screenshot of it kasi pag nag-send na rin kami ng certificate niyo tomorrow, i-attach namin yung QR code nila, and at the same time meron din tayong sa scale up mismo, mag-share din kami ng evaluation form. Pwede kayong of course you are going to evaluate us, no, yung scale up mismo as the organizer and facilitator of this learning session, and of course yung ating resource person. Magagamit kasi namin yung inyong mga feedback, recommendations, comments in order for us to improve further our services. So yung evaluation form na link, isasama na lang namin yan siya pag na-email na namin ang inyong certificate of participation. So with that, guys, wala naman tayong questions na nakikita so far sa ating chat box. Kaya I am just going to invite na lang all of you, no, na baka interested din kayo sa remaining webinars namin for the month of September. So every Saturday, 6 to 8 p.m. So by September 13, baka meron ditong mga may balak, no, na gustong maging isang entrepreneur or magpatayo ng negosyo. We are inviting you to our Business Development 101 webinar on entrepreneurial mindsetting. By September 20, this is all about operations management. To be specific, ang operations management kasi marami siyang components, di ba? Kasama na dyan yung supply chain, kasama dyan yung quality management, and so on. The first component will be covered this coming September 20. And this is all about process design and management. One of the many components excuse me, of operations management. And on September 27, Human Resource 101. This is all about human resource management. If you are available, if you want to learn how to invest and manage your human capital, pwede din kayo mag-participate sa ating webinar this coming September 27. So para maging updated kayo sa aming mga learning activities, I am encouraging you to like or follow us on social media, lalong-lalo na sa Facebook kasi yun talaga yung pinaka-ginagamit natin, no, na communication channel sa mga nagpa-follow sa amin. I heard earlier wherein Sir JP mentioned about series of financial management webinars, no? Kaya kung mapapansin niyo yung aming mga learning sessions, may 101. Syempre, this is the first, first set of learning sessions, kaya puro siya 101. So meaning to say, meron siyang 102, meron siyang 103, 104, and so on. So that's why by next month, i-check na lang ninyo, baka interested kayo to participate sa ating Financial Management 102. Mas maganda nga if you are going to complete all the series of financial management webinars kasi iba-iba yung i-share sa atin ng ating mentor. Kaya again, follow us on social media para maging aware kayo for our schedule by next month. Okay, so I believe yun lang yung mga additional na instructions na gusto kong i-share sa inyo. This webinar was recorded and we are going to upload this one to our YouTube channel. That's why don't forget to subscribe also, no, sa YouTube channel ng Scale Up Training and Development. Ang YouTube name or ang channel name is the same with our business name, the Scale Up Training and Development. So subscribe kayo doon para at least you will get notification the moment na nakapag-upload na kami ng aming mga videos doon. Okay? So, bago tayo mag-end, again, baka may pahabol pa na questions na gustong itanong, just chat it sa ating chat box. Kung wala, I believe, no, pwede na nating i-dismiss ang ating session for tonight. Excuse me. So, again, Sir JP, maraming salamat sa inyo, and hopefully hindi ka magsawa na mag-support, no? At magipag-partner sa amin. So, Sir JP, thank you talaga.
Thank you, Piper, and everyone in attendance. Looking forward to everyone's next session. Invite niyo yung mga kakilala niyo about Scale Up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So enjoy the rest of the evening. You can still be productive, and see you again on our next session. Bye, everyone. God bless and take care always.